The storm was raging, the lights went out, and then he appeared. Mason. The boy I thought I'd lost forever. Alone together in a house full of shadows, danger was real, but so was the spark between us. One night, one storm, one unexpected bond that changed everything. Please subscribe Swept in Secrets for more interesting. I never expected the knock in the middle of the storm. The rain had been pounding on the roof for hours, relentless and electric, and I was curled on the couch with a glass of wine and the faint hum of the lamp, trying to convince myself that quiet nights were safe. Then came 3 sharp raps on the door, deliberate and heavy. My heart skipped. I wasn't used to visitors, especially not this late. "Who's there?" called, trying to steady my voice. "It's Mason Hale," the voice answered. Low, steady, familiar. Mason. My childhood friend. The boy from 2 houses down who had disappeared from Willow Creek 12 years ago, leaving behind nothing but memories. My chest tightened. I hesitated only a second before pulling the door open, and there he was, soaked, the storm clinging to him like a cloak. His dark hair stuck to his forehead, and his storm-gray eyes met mine. He had grown into a man, broad across the shoulders, strong, but still unmistakably Mason. "Ellery," he said, voice soft but urgent. "I need to talk to you." I pulled him inside without another word. The smell of rain clung to him, clean and wild, a sharp contrast to the warmth of my little house. He set his soaked jacket aside and immediately scanned the room, tense, alert. "Someone might be following me," he said quietly. My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" I asked. "I saw a black SUV at the end of your driveway," he said. "Lights off. They peeled away when they saw me, but I think they're watching." My pulse quickened. "Why are they following you?" He sighed, heavy, tired. "I discovered something at work, something dangerous, illegal. I turned it over to a journalist friend. Since then I've had shadows. I can't go to the police. I can't risk them getting to me, or to you." I didn't know what to say. All I could feel was the raw presence of him. His nearness, the way he radiated strength and urgency. He reached into his duffel bag and pulled out a small black drive. "This has everything," he said. "I need to hide it for a few days." I guided him to the old workshop. The air smelled of cedar and oil paint, a nostalgic comfort mingled with the tension of the night. I lifted the loose board behind the shelves, and Mason slipped the drive inside. Our knees brushed accidentally, a spark of warmth that neither of us moved to dispel. He looked at me, and the world contracted until only the 2 of us existed in that tiny, cluttered room. "Thank you," he murmured. The sound of his voice sent a strange heat through me. I felt alive in a way I hadn't in years. Back in the living room, we sat near the front window, lights off. The storm outside raged like a restless beast, but the room felt intimate, charged, the air thick with anticipation. Mason's arm brushed mine as he shifted, and I felt a shiver run through me. Minutes stretched, the storm fading to a mist. Every sound was amplified, the drip of rain, the groan of old floorboards. I realized I had been holding my breath, and I exhaled slowly, aware of the warmth pressing against me. "Ellery," Mason said softly. My name sounded different on his lips, tender, urgent. I turned to him. His storm-gray eyes held mine, searching, as though asking permission without words. A metallic ping outside made us freeze. Mason's instincts took over. He moved to the window, muscles taut, scanning the yard. My hand found his, and he didn't pull away. The simple contact steadied both of us. "Stay behind me," he whispered, and we crouched together, the quilt draped over our shoulders. The night moved in slow, tense waves. Every rustle outside, every shadow was a potential threat. Mason kept one hand on mine, protective, warm, and alive. Every brush of his thumb against my skin sent a current of heat through me, and I could feel his focus and presence as a shield. I realized then how much I had missed him, not just as a friend, but as someone who could make the world shrink to this small, charged space. Hours passed, the storm gradually losing its fury, the house settling into a deceptive calm. We whispered little updates, sharing the night as if it were a confessional. He admitted how hard it had been to hide, to run, to stay constantly alert. I admitted how quiet and empty my life had felt without him here, without any sense of urgency or connection. The honesty between us was raw and thrilling. Suddenly, a louder thump rattled the back porch. Mason was on his feet instantly, flashlight sweeping the yard. Nothing. He tightened his grip on my hand, eyes narrowing. "Testing the door," he muttered. "Or worse." We moved back to the living room, sitting close again, shoulders pressed together under the quilt. The danger outside made every small touch feel electric. When he spoke my name, it carried a weight that made my chest ache. I realized I had been holding in so much longing, so much uncertainty, and it poured out in the quiet intimacy of the night. Hours later, when the first light of dawn streaked across the sky, the threat seemed to have faded with the darkness. We had survived the storm, the shadows, and the fear. We were still here, together, holding on to each other in ways neither of us had expected. Mason finally leaned back, a tired but genuine smile on his face. "We made it," he said. I nodded, heart pounding, emotions too big to contain. We did. Together. The intensity of the night, the danger, and the closeness we had shared broke the dam inside me. I realized I wasn't just relieved or scared. I was alive in a way I hadn't been in years, because Mason's presence had awakened something deep inside me. He looked at me, his gaze steady and filled with a quiet longing. "Ellery, I'm glad I came back." "I'm glad you did," I said. The storm had passed, the shadows were gone, and yet something more had been born in the night. A bond forged in danger, trust, and closeness. I had been lonely, cautious, and careful for too long. Mason's return didn't just bring danger. It brought warmth, excitement, and the undeniable pull of something new, something real, something that had been waiting for both of us all these years. And in that small, rain-scented house with the sun rising beyond the trees, I realized that some connections, some bonds, are meant to be found again, even after years of distance, fear, and uncertainty. Mason's presence had healed more than just the immediate danger. It had reminded me that life could still surprise me, and that trust, intimacy, and longing could exist, even in the darkest of nights. We didn't speak for a long time after that. Words weren't necessary. We sat side by side, sharing warmth, the quiet aftermath of the storm, and the unspoken promise that whatever came next, we would face it together. The night had been harrowing, suspenseful, and alive with unspoken desire, but the dawn brought clarity, hope, and the beginning of something neither of us had anticipated, but both of us needed. And for the first time in years I felt truly, entirely alive.